All right, here's video 3 of 3 for 8.1 for IM1. Again, lots of vocab, but this one's not nearly as bad. So let's talk about intersections and how to sketch intersections. So an intersection is just like what you think it is. It's wherever something is shared. So if you think about like the intersection of a street, right? So if I've got a street going this way and then a street comes this way and then it keeps going this way and then over here, right? The intersection is the stuff in the middle, like where both of them share. So the idea of an intersection shouldn't be all that foreign to you. But here's the cool part. Whenever two things are intersecting, you're always looking at what they have in common. So when two lines intersect, you get a point, and when two planes intersect, you get a line. So let's talk about the first one, okay? In blue over here. So if I were going to draw two lines and have them intersect, I am guaranteed that the point that they share in common is actually just a point. So if I draw a line like that, and I draw another line like that, and they intersect somewhere, well, then what they have in common is a point. That shouldn't be a big surprise, right? Now let's go the other direction. Let's talk about planes. So if I have two planes that intersect, the way that they intersect is they actually create a line. So you can see it, I've got one plane here, right? This is this top plane. And then I have this other plane here in orange for you, if you will, which you can't see in the background, right? It comes up right here. And the part that they make together is this. So when two planes intersect, they get a line created from it. So the big takeaway for box number 1 is when two lines intersect, you get a point. And when two planes intersect, you get a line. Okay, box number 2, sketching intersections of lines and planes. So part A just says, sketch a plane and a line that is in that plane. Okay, no big deal. Here's how you do it. Kind of follow along the best you can. Maybe I'll do this in like gray for you. So here's how I draw planes. I kind of draw this quadrilateral, sort of skewed off, maybe parallelogram thing. So here's my plane. I'll label it like maybe plane L, for example. And then I'm going to draw a line that's in that plane. So here's a line that falls in that plane. So these points, maybe A and B, those would be collinear because they're on line M, for example. And then maybe I have another point that's in the plane of L, but not on the line, to show that I have a line M that is in plane L. All right, part B says, sketch a plane and a line that does not intersect the plane. Okay, so for this one, again, I would maybe start with a more flat version of a plane here. So thinking about it this way. So if I shade kind of all this down here, okay, here's a plane L, and then my line would be sort of above it and parallel to plane L, so I call this line M. So there is nothing that they share in common. The plane and the line do not intersect, therefore they would not have anything in common, right? And then part C says, sketch a plane and a line that intersects the plane at a single point. Okay, so for this one, I would maybe draw a plane that looks like this, kind of vertical. Okay, and I'll call that plane M, for example. And then I would draw a line, and then you wouldn't see behind here until it crossed through the plane and kept going, right? So I'll call this line L, for example. So this line only intersects plane M in one spot. The little dashes behind here, these little dashes over here represent stuff that you can't see behind the plane. So there's 3 examples of what we might be sketching. For example, number 3 in box 2. Okay, lastly, box number 3, it says sketching the intersection of planes. It says sketch 2 planes that intersect in a line. So step 1, 2, and 3 are laid out for you. I'm going to go ahead and walk you through these, okay? Step 1, it says draw a vertical plane. So here's how you do that. So give yourself a line, and then give yourself maybe a line that's kind of like off skewed a little bit, and give yourself this plane here. And then it says shade the plane. So I'm going to shade it in the same color that I drew it. So I'm shading this plane as best I can. You guys can just kind of copy on your pencil too. Be artists here. Awesome. Okay, cool. Got it. All right, step 2, maybe I'll change colors for you. We'll go to like green. Okay. It says draw a second plane that is horizontal. Shade this plane a different color. Use dashed lines to show where one plane is hidden. Okay. So I'm going to draw this plane right here. And then I'm going to draw it back. And then I'm going to draw it out. And then now here's where you cannot see because it's sort of outside and behind, right? And then it would come up and then meet me there. Okay. It says shade this plane a different color. So I'll shade it in the green color again. So I'll kind of do my best to shade this guy here for you. All right. Kind of like that. Oh, it looks pretty good. Not bad. And then lastly, it says use a dashed line to show where one plane is hidden. So we did that already. But the part that we need to draw in here is where these are going to intersect. So they're going to intersect right here, as best I can draw that, right? And then it says draw the line of intersection. So that right there creates a line. So if I were to maybe keep this going in all directions, you could see that I would have a line. Then that would be the intersection of my two planes. So again, the big takeaway from this section is if two lines intersect, you get a point. If two planes intersect, you get a line.